Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and in this video I'm just going to do a full dip manicure with peel base and Sparkle & Co.'s Glossy 2.0. So my nails are all prepped. I've already pushed back my cuticles, filed them, filled in my clear layer, so I do have a clear dip on these nails currently that I solidified, which is the same as activating. Solidified, I buffed them as smooth as I possibly could, and I shaped them, and then I did one more coat of activator, and I've had my nails like this for several days now, with just the clear and the solidify on there. And so now my hands, before I started, I washed them, that was it, and immediately going in with peel base. So no other prep is needed. And I normally do my nails this way, like when I take a mani off, I'll fill in my clear, prep my nails, and then I'll typically leave them for like several days before I can figure out what kind of manicure to do. But for my peel base, everybody always asks me what brand. I know there's lots out there. I haven't tried any other brands. I do have other brands. Have never tried them because Sparkle & Co., first time I tried it, I fell in love with it, like over the clear. So I've never had to use another brand because I know this works for me and what works. And it's affordable. I'm a subscription member, which means that I can use my discount to purchase this. If you're not a subscription member and you're curious about it, go to Sparkle & Co.'s Facebook page, and there'll be a breakdown under announcements in that group. There is a breakdown of all the different subscription bags. I believe there's 8 of them. 8 or 9 of them. But if you subscribe to a bag $29.99 or higher, then you can get your own personal 20% off discount code to use on every single purchase, which is amazing. And there's no wait for it either. Like, as soon as you subscribe, you can message customer service on their main Facebook page, and they will send you your discount code as well as the password to access subscription colors. There's amazing subscription colors that are only available to sub members, and you'll have access to all of those as well for 90 days after they release. And then every month they also do a 48-hour re-release of subscription colors from the year prior, and you can find all those in the albums on the Facebook page. But you'll have access to those as well, which is amazing. And yes, when you purchase, you can use your 20% off code. So everything, you just can't beat it. You can't beat it. So anyway, I'm doing 3 full coats of peel base. This is my second coat. And then I just go around. I use this little tool. It's just what I have handy. Not sure what it's even for. Found it in my junk drawer. Normally I would use like a wooden orange stick or a cuticle pusher, a wooden, excuse me. But now that my coats are done, I'm just showing you what colors I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using a retired, this is this gold color, is a retired Sparkle, Team Sparkle color. It was for the 2019 football season. You might see some of these kind of TS colors floating around for people that have purchased them during that time, or from like people getting them as freebies in some of their orders from Sparkle & Co. So it's not available for purchase, but this beautiful burgundy color I'm using is called Autumn Leaves, and it can be found on their secret menu. And you do not have to be a subscription member to access the secret menu. It's for anybody. But it's just on their website under secret menu or under newest products. There should be an option to get the secret menu on there as well. But this beautiful like purple burgundy color has these foil, not foil, but like flexi flakes in them. And it's just super pretty. And it goes on really smooth, as you can see. But yep, I just lay that, or paint on my base bond. Now that my peel base is dry, all 3 coats, I go right in with base bond, keep it thin, and keep it towards like, I cover the whole nail, but I only go down about, I would say 2/3 of the way down my nail, not the whole nail. And I'm just pushing it in so there's not any like ridges or anything. And then I go around it, my cuticles, with that same tool or an orange stick. You don't have an orange stick or the tool, you can also use a cuticle pusher. Literally anything. It just cleans up around your cuticles so you don't get any base bond or powder stuck in there to make for not so pretty cuticle lines. Yeah, easy little trick there, my favorite nail trick. And here, as you see, I'm just kind of brushing it on my nail instead of dipping straight into the jar. Sometimes, which people refer to as the pour over method or the sprinkle method, is where you take like a makeup brush or one of those, man, I don't even know the word for it. It's like it comes with a lot of cuticle oils and a pipette maybe? I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's what it's called. But you can use those instead of, or a cupcake liner. Use a paper plate or a cupcake liner and pour the powder over your nail instead of dipping into it. And sometimes that can prevent any bumpiness or ridges or thickness as well. And especially with like chunky glitters or foil dips or dips that have any kind of glitter in them, or flakes, whatever it may be, it helps them all lay flatter. So as you can see now, the second go around, I'm painting more of the nail. I'm going to the edges and I'm going down even closer to the cuticle, but not quite all the way there yet. And this is also another trick, is to do it like go farther down each dip for all 3 dips. If you don't, you can get that harsh kind of cuticle line where it seems pretty thick by the cuticle. And this way, it's like a nice, even, I don't know the word for it, a nice, even line. Sorry, my child moved my camera. No big deal. But yeah, it's like an even slope down to your cuticle. So there's no harsh line. It's just a smooth transition from dip powder to cuticle. No harsh lines or no thick, extra bulk thickness right there. But yeah, so just doing my second dip on all of these, and I'll show you too. I'll show you a side view, so you can see that they're not thick. I have my clear on there, and my clear is probably 2, I say 2.5 because it's like a dip down the middle and then 2, like 1 almost full coat and then 1 full coat of clear. And then I buff them smooth. So the clear layer is not very thick, and it really doesn't add much bulk to your nail at all. It's pretty thin, and then I try to keep my layers of dip really thin as well. It's better to have more thin layers than fewer thick layers. It's going to help prevent chipping, cracking, lifting. Keep your layers thin. I don't care what kind of dip you're doing, keep your layers thin. If you feel they're too thin, add another thin coat on top of it. Don't do few thicker coats. They're not going to last you as long. But now, third and final coat. As you can see, I'm going to kind of fan my brush to my cuticle. I'm not going all the way in. I don't want to touch my skin with it, but I'm getting closer to the cuticle this way. Pretty much right up against it, like leaving, like as you can see, there's the tiniest space before you hit my skin. And that's why this trick going around your cuticle with the cuticle pusher is such a good tip, because it helps not get it on your skin and gives you those really nice lines. And now dipping that in, and this, as you can see, there is little flakes in it, and I do pat them down a little bit just to make sure that they're laying flat. But like flake dips lay so flat already, it's like once it hits the base bond, it like melts onto the nail, which is so nice, because then it makes for minimal buffing, which nobody wants to sit there and buff forever. So, and people ask me, I do not use an e-file. Once in a while for removal, or if I'm removing somebody else's nails, I'll use the e-file, but not really. I prefer hand files and buffer blocks. Like, that's all you need. Plus, if you don't really know a lot about e-files or like the different attachments, you could be using the wrong one, removing too much product. So obviously, if you want to use one, by all means, like, more power to you. I just personally prefer buffer blocks and files, and then I'm not like hurting my cuticles or slipping. But it's all preference, all personal preference. And now I'm just using this brush. I think you can get them at the dollar store or anywhere, and just brushing off all the extra powder. And here's what it looks like so far. And this is like, look how thin and even they are. And that's before buffing or even activating. I'm closing up my jars because I'm good at knocking them over. And now what I actually did for this one, because I have flakes and I do not want to buff off those flakes, I'm going to protect them with a coat of clear. So Sparkle & Co.'s DP90 Crystal Clear was reformulated last summer, and it is like glass now. It is so clear. And people that use a clear and that it seems really like kind of foggy or bubbly, a lot of the time it can be because you're not brushing all the extra powder off good enough. So just a tip, like after, like obviously you're like, oh my gosh, I'm messing up her nails using the clear. No, I'm not. It's going to look like this and foggy until I dust it off and activate. And then it's going to show you how really crystal clear it is. Sorry. But same step, just covering the whole nail with the clear, very thin coat. You don't need it thick. This is just going to protect those flakes during my buffing. And a lot of people also, just a tip, I don't always do it. Once in a while I do, like using a really high pigmented dip, or like neon dips or glow in the dark dips sometimes are more dense. Using one of those solid dips that's highly pigmented, if you don't cover it with clear first and you buff and file it, you're going to pull some of that pigment off, and it could give you like a marbled effect, or look like some of the spots, almost like a tie-dye, where you see the color, but then in spots that you might have filed a little too much, appear more white, because you're filing off the color, and you don't want to do that. So do a dip of clear, even over those solid colors, will help protect them during buffing, and it might help eliminate that issue. But as you can see, I did just one dip of clear on all of them, and it looks good. It does look a little foggy. It will until I activate and apply my top coat. But as you can see now, you can't even tell I did a dip of clear over them. I have over 1,700 dip powders, and I have tried so many brands of clear. It is ridiculous. Sparkle & Co.'s new formula for their clear. So if you've purchased the same formula as of like July of 2019, this formula is amazing and the best clear I've ever used. If I break a nail, I use it to like extend my nail. It's amazing. It's just the best clear I've ever used. And some people, you might see in some of the Facebook nail groups, like a chart of people comparing all these different brands of clear. A lot of those charts I've noticed are the old clear, the old formula. So make sure you kind of check on when that experiment was done, because a lot of these, like I said, a lot of them, they compare all these different brands of clear, which is still amazing, but a lot of them are the old formula. So if you're curious about it, even just buy a mini jar from Sparkle & Co. of their clear to test it out for yourself. But I swear by it. My favorite clear. Anyway, I've activated them and I've waited about a minute. Like if you tap your nail, like you can kind of hear it, and you hear that click, that means it's dry enough and you can buff. So now I'm just going in with a tiny fine buffer block, and I'm just buffing, roughing up the surface a little bit, buffing it, just making sure it's as smooth as I can get it. Like I said, with these foils or these flake dips, they already are so smooth, so you barely have to buff them, which is amazing. And then I'm just going around the edges too, the free edges and the sides, to make sure that they're nice and squared, so I don't have any like ridges or any rough edges. And just buffing and filing those off. You'll see me, I'll show you how I file and keep my square shape. Yeah, so just buffing them all to make sure they're nice and smooth. Doing that for both hands. And yeah, you get the point. Also, if you need a good buffer block, Sparkle does sell these little, the pink one that I have laying down right there. They do sell those on their website, and I think they're like $3. But they're good buffer blocks. It does the job. They're cute. They work good. But if anybody has never ordered from Sparkle & Co. before and you want to try it out, you can use code SPARKLE10 during checkout, and that'll give you a 10% off discount. And Sparkle in the United States is always free shipping over $25 after discounts. And if it's your first purchase with Sparkle & Co., you can type in my name in the notes at checkout, and that'll give you a $9 credit about 2 to 3 weeks after your order ships. And if you subscribe to a subscription bag, you can use my name in the notes at checkout. And if you subscribe to a bag $29.99 and up, you will receive an $18 credit if you use my name. Or if you subscribe to an itty bitty subscription bag, either the gel or the dip bag, it'll be a $9 credit. And if you are an itty bitty subscriber and you want to upgrade, you can also use my name or a referral name in the notes at checkout, and that will give you an extra $9 credit for upgrading. If you already have a $29.99 bag and you upgrade to a higher level, there's no other credit. It's an $18 credit max. But yeah, feel free to use my name and we'll each get a credit. But now that they're all buffed and smooth how I want them, I applied my second coat of Solidify. And now I'm going to wait about 30 seconds to a minute. Okay, so I showed you the matte top coat. I was going to use matte on this color and decided I love Glossy 2.0 too much, so I didn't use matte. But now that I wait about a minute after my Solidify. I wiped it off with a clean paper towel. And now my Glossy 2.0, as you can see, a thin. I try to keep it down to like 2 or 3 quick strokes for my first coat. And I always wipe my brush off on a paper towel. This will help any solidify that's left over on my nail will not transfer back into my bottle and ruin my Glossy 2.0. Wipe your brushes off. So the second coat, taking a little bit more time, keeping it thin though, and I'm just applying it right over top. And I'm not capping my edges because I have peel base on, and this way they'll pop off easier when I remove them. Yeah, but yeah, apply Glossy 2.0 as you would any other top coat. And it is my favorite top coat out of every brand I've ever tried. Glossy 2.0. I will never go back to another top coat. As you can see how shiny they are. And now I'm going to do the same thing for my other hand. I do this one hand at a time. That's how I know my timing's right. If you wait too long after solidifying to do it, it might dry foggy. If you do it too soon, it can also dry matte or cloudy. This way, I know my timing's accurate, doing one at a time. But paint on your first coat. Try to keep it into like 2 to 3 quick strokes. Wipe your brush on a paper towel. Dip it into your glossy. Couple quick strokes. Wipe it off on paper towel. Couple thin strokes. Wipe it off on a paper towel. Dip it back into the bottle. Immediately go back in with your second coat. Keeping it thin, but you can, take a little bit more time on it. And just make sure that it's a nice, even, thin layer. And as you'll see, this coat also will dry within 2 minutes, sometimes not even that full 2 minutes. It dries really fast, incredibly shiny. You'll see how shiny it is in just a second. And now that I'm done, just closing that up. And there's my finished manicure. Look how shiny that is. And this color, you see that hand's already dry. This color is one of my favorite dip powders. It's so good. And they also have a red version. If you don't care for the purple burgundy, they do have a red based one as well. That is also just as amazing. But here's the finished look. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and for watching. Please leave me a comment with some videos you would like to see. And subscribe to my channel. Deuces and smooches.